Well, guys, you remember when I fixed this guy, right? Yeah, he broke again. He actually broke a lot after that. So, yeah, this is kind of just a demonstration video. I mean, when I fixed him the first time, I screwed it up big time because, like, I don't know if I messed his mouth up, but I had to put, like, a new piece in there. It was like one of those two of those Billy Bass hinges put on with that little metal, with, like, that little plastic thing. They're not mouth hinges, they were tail hinges, that little plastic thing that goes through. Went through it, and I glued a mouth hinge that was snapped. I glued it to it to stick into the mouth. And that surprisingly worked really well. His mouth is shut now. His mouth was really stupid looking the first time that I fixed it. I replaced it with a Billy Bass head hinge. I just put one on the side and it just looked stupid. So yeah, and also his head only went out like that far. And now his tail works, as you just heard. I mean, I did replace this gear because it was split, and I replaced this gear. I just resoldered some of the wires. It was working with batteries, though it's not anymore, so I have it plugged in. But yeah, I would really like a favor if I can't find it before someone else can. If you can find a really cheap Travis skin for sale, like kind of like what Bonelop used to sell, right here, you can see the back is in nice condition, but look at how much paint has deteriorated over the years and how much rips it has in it. I tried gluing them. I glued that one. It's fine now, but there's this rip. There was this one, which was a melt mark from the first time I fixed it because I wasn't paying attention. I tried to glue it, but it just looked bad. The eyes are melted beyond belief. Like, completely melted. Needs new eyes. It needs a new skin. It just needs... Everything mechanically works perfectly. When I got it, the first day I got it, the only thing that was wrong was the whistle piece. And since I was young, I basically screwed up everything else trying to fix that whistle piece. So, yeah. No gears were split. Well, maybe one in the mouth, but it would still move. It lasted a while. The tail gear wasn't split, but the only thing that was wrong was that whistle piece in there. And I never had the courage to get in there far enough to repair it. And that one day when I was really young, I did, and it just kept breaking and breaking and breaking. I messed it up, and then I fixed it again. It kept messing itself up after that point. But yeah, since I've learned how to I didn't like to use super glue before or soldering irons, so I soldered the wires that were off back on to it, like every one of them. I even did the battery wires and they were working, but then they just stopped working, so I disconnected them and I didn't solder them back on, but I did put them back in their places. But it still didn't work, so I don't know what's wrong with it, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But yeah, also, I didn't glue the eyes in place. The eye sockets are snapped, but that's not really that big a deal. This part of the head up here was snapped off the screw holder, and it would, like, go up every time the mouth would move. The mouth hinges, after I repaired it, I was trying to repair something in the head or something like that. Like, maybe, I think the head quit working or something. And I went inside to repair that, and as I was inside there, I realized that the mouth hinges that moved were rounded out. And yeah, the tails never had any major issues. The only things that have had major issues are the head and the mouth. But I've replaced the whistle piece twice in there with like Billy Bass head pieces. One of them was too big, so that's why the head would only move this far at first, but then I replaced it with a better one that I had in my old Jaws. If you saw in that one video of it, for me it fried on camera and I don't know what happened to it. I think it just got thrown out. Like, I couldn't get it to work after that at all. So yeah, I did get a new Jaws, don't worry about it, and it works way better. But yeah, so yeah, And also something very, very, very stupid I did. I used to have a Billy Bass that was like not working. Then I thought the adapter slot came out. So instead of trying to replace it with an adapter slot, I thought, let's go ahead and why not, since this one worked on batteries at the time, why not just take that metal thing out? Like, when I was a kid, I realized it wasn't working when I plugged it back in. I was like, ooh, it did begin to work. So I just bent it back into place, and it wasn't really the same. But it still works, so it's not that big a deal. It works now. I mean, I have to keep it in there, because if I don't, then nothing will work on it. Because I'm afraid that it might screw up the adapter slot, because this thing is very faulty. But yeah, there's a ton of rips on the mouth too that I tried to glue, but some of them didn't glue right. This thing really just needs painted. I don't know what this was. Like, all these stains, I think, were there when I got it, or maybe from me, but I probably doubt it. But yeah, this wasn't there when I first got it. This rip that came, like, I don't know, probably by me just trying to screw around with it. There's like literally nothing holding on to this. Like, this thing needs a whole new plaque, whole new skin, just no new mech or no new circuit board. Like, there's the screw holders back there are snapped. So this thing is surprisingly being held on. I don't know how. I guess it's because I tightened the screw that holds the thing in, and it just held it in place, and it just stays there. So I mean, it's not that big of a deal unless you're on the inside. So yeah, I guess I will show him to you now. Also, he does work on sensor now. The switch has been broken for a long time, and I had to resolder that. So yeah, here we go. Though actually the main issue where the head would only go up this much, I had it in the wrong position. Like, I thought it was like a little bit above the mechanism, and I thought that was a big deal, but it's actually perfectly on the plaque like that, and it still raises up perfectly, so I just messed it up there. But now it raises all the way up. So yeah, the tail never really had too much issues with it, but here we go. Yeah, so yeah, that's cool. And also, by the way, if you guys were concerned, there is a rocking fish for $35 on eBay right now. I mean, you guys can go for it, but there's already 40 bids on it, so I mean, it's not that best idea. Like I said, if you want to get in a bidding war, then go ahead and try that, but it's just not worth it if there's already bids on it. If something that rare for that cheap is in a bid at all, just don't buy it. Well, you can if you want, but I'm not going to, because, like, I already know if I'm the first one to see it, multiple other people are going to see it, and they're going to try to buy it too, so, yeah. So, yeah. That's all I really have to say, so, thank you guys for watching, and peace out.